Hi everybody. Today we are going to continue with the webinar, and in this case I have prepared a big file with all the things that I want to talk about in these tutorials, and I have underlined in green color the things that we are going to talk today. Here there are more things, okay, but there is a lot of things that we are going to talk in the next videos, as you can see here, okay. And we are going today to talk about object store, chests, and also how to create the requirements to pass between different pages. That it's quite interesting thing, and I have joined all the different requirements that you can use. And it's quite interesting, I think. And also, I want to explain the combat system. I want to explain the combat system that we are using in bookgame.me. Okay. Let's go. I'm going to open a new Google Chrome tab, and we can enter in book game. Okay, we can log out, and I'm going to log in. And okay, we are going to continue with with this adventure that we created in the past webinars. Okay, if you enter here and you can see the list of chapters, you're going to see that there is one thing that is list of chests. We are going to talk about this after, okay? But this is one of the options that we are going to use, okay? We were in one story where the character had to enter in a castle, okay? And okay, in this case, imagine that you want, what was the first point? Okay, you want to force the character lose all the objects that they have, okay, or some objects. This is a very simple option, okay? If you enter here, okay, in this part you are happy because you have a pet called dog. Okay, we talked about this thing, okay, and we are going to create a new next page, and we are going to say that you see that there are another wall, another door, another wall, and a big door with a soldier in front of them. Okay, and you have two options in this case. One of the options is to be polite, and the other option will be to be not polite, okay, in order to talk with him, but imagine that you want to create two options, and one of the options what I am going to do is that you lose all the objects or some objects. You are not polite. Okay, imagine, it's only an example. In this case, okay, you start talking with the guard, not being polite, and he gets angry. Okay, imagine. And for this reason, he's going to quit some objects. Okay, you have here different options. Check this box to make the character lose all objects, coins, and arrows that he has in this moment. If you click here, the character is going to lose everything. Okay, and okay, in this case, I think it can be dangerous. Well, dangerous, because it's hard for the character to lose all the objects. And imagine that this character have both some objects with real money. Okay, he has paid or she has paid €2 to buy a big sword before, and, and you force him or her, to lose all the objects. It can be hard, okay? But in some cases, it can be quite interesting to do this thing. Okay, imagine that is the beginning of the book, or you are not allowing the people to buying objects or things like that. Okay, it can be useful. Okay, the other thing is check this box to make the character lose all the coins. Okay, it can be another quite interesting options. And also you can force the character to lose some objects. And these objects, here appear all the objects that the character can have, all the list of the objects of your story, and you can click and select all the objects. Also you can, I think, pushing control, and you can click some of these objects, and can be quite interesting. But maybe, because maybe, for example, you are entering, in this case, you are entering in a castle, and in this castle they don't want to allow, they are going to quit all your weapons. But if you have an apple, they are not going to quit your apple, because they don't care if you have an apple or not. Okay, it could be an example. Or they don't care if you have an armor or a helmet. Okay, imagine it could be possible. Okay, in this case, for example, we want to do that. For example, this character, in this case, maybe he's going to quit some of these weapons. If you have one of these weapons, for example, okay, we can check until tower shield, no, until long sword, maybe. Okay, until here. Okay, for example, this we are going to explain. We are going to explain right now. Okay, but in this case, will be these options are very simple and it's not very complicated. Okay, in this case. Okay, more things. Lost all objects on win page. Okay, object store. Okay, if we are going to talk about how to create an object store. Okay, in one page you can define that it appears an object store, but before your character should have some coins to buy something. Okay, how you can do in order that the character earns some coins in one page? Imagine that you want your character earn page when they beat some enemies and kill some orcs, and the orcs have coins, and you want that the character earn some coins. You can define this in I don't know if I have explained it before, but imagine, for example, that you get some coins, get some coins here. Okay, you can define this in more options. Here, money you earn, you can define here that you earn 20 money. Okay, and it will be very as simple as that. Okay, also you can make that you earn some experience, you earn some arrows and things like that. Okay, but in this case, to earn money, it's like that. Okay, and it's very useful because in the future, if you define a store, you are going to be able to spend this money buying weapons, and it's quite interesting for a game book to do this. Okay, well, in this case, no, I think in this case it doesn't have sense to earn here to earn some coins, because it has sense when you get the weapons to get in that moment the money. Okay. Okay. We defined before here. Okay, that he received this money, these coins, and also you could define that it earns 20 of experience and some arrows. Okay, but we will have to change the text. You inspect the ore, some coins, and weapon. Okay, we have defined before. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Save. Okay, and how you define in a store? Okay, imagine that you be polite with this guy, and you are polite. You start speaking with the guard, and he allows you to enter the castle. Okay. And in the next page you appear in some, we are going to define that you appear in one big place in, okay, continue. Okay, continue. The castle. okay, you enter the castle and arrive to big, how do you say, plaza, square? I think it's a square. Sorry, I think it's a square. Yes, it's a square. Okay, and you arrive to a big square with different buildings. Okay, we are going to do that in this page. No, we are going to do something. We are going to quit this from here, and we are going to put this here. You enter the castle and write to, okay, in a big square with different buildings. Okay, and right now here we are going to change this page title and to define castle square. Why? Because in this node, in this page, we are going to do that. This page is the main page of the from science where you can go to different pages and to come back to the square. Okay, it could be quite an example. It could be an example of how to create an interactive game book where the character go to different places, do some missions, and come back to the main node and can go to another places. Okay, it could be it is going to be some example of this. Okay, and this is going to be the main node. For example, we can write here that you can see you are, for example, you are in the castle square and see a lot of buildings. You can see a store, for example, tavern, store, tavern, and how do you say, the fortress, the guards place, and so on. Where do you go? Okay, in this example, you can go to different places. In this case, we are going to create a page where that is a store. I go to the store. Okay, perfect. We are going back. Okay, we can go here. Page. Okay, the store. Okay, right now. Okay, you enter to the store and see a lot of different things that you can buy. Perfect. Okay, and okay, how do you define this object store? Okay, we click here. Okay, and if you click here, you are going to see that right now you can see all the objects that this story have, and you can click on any of them. Okay, in this case, when we click here and we add this number, it doesn't have any. It's the same to put on one or more. Okay, in this case, I have not limited the number of objects that you can buy in one object store. Okay, and for this reason, it doesn't. It's the same to do this or do this. Okay. Anyway, imagine that you can buy some different weapons here, like that weapons, and also potions. No, maybe, and yeah, it's and a store that you can buy weapons and defense objects. Okay, this, for example, and that's all. Okay, to create a to create a store, you have to click here to select the different objects, but also the main important thing is to click here, okay, and also these numbers, okay. This when you click here, you are going to convert this page in a object store page, okay. It's very important to click here. Also, you have to define here the percentage of the cost when you buy something and when you sell something. In an object store, you can buy things, and also you can sell your objects. You can do both of them, okay? And what I have programmed in this system is that the cost of the objects are not the cost that you defined before when you create the object, okay? The price will be more than this price or the same price if you put 100%. But if you put 120%, it's going to be more expensive. Also, the price, the purchase price of these objects affects the charisma that your character have. Okay, I'm going to explain. For example, with Google Sheet. Okay, if I create another one. Okay, if I create one, imagine that you have created an object that it costs 20 coins. Okay. Okay, checked. Okay, and the object store percentage is 120. Okay, you have to subtract the price of the object in the same way as your charisma. Imagine that you have a character that have 5 points in charisma. The total percentage will be this minus this one, okay? And for this reason, the total price, the final price of this object will be this multiplied by 115 divided between 100. Okay, in this case will be 23. Okay, 23. Okay, this is the purchase price, but and this is that price. Okay, you can define this. It's quite interesting because I think that you can create different stores and to do more profitable stores than others. Okay, imagine that you are in a big city. Okay, in my game book I have created different stores in my city where there were an object store more cheaper than others. Okay, and if you are intelligent, you can go to the more cheaper stores. Okay, you can play with this as a writer, and also it's quite interesting because in some moments maybe you can create a very expensive store because maybe it's someone that is selling the things very very expensive. But if the reader is intelligent and wait until have more profitable store, it can be quite interesting to play with this. Also, you have to define the sale price. Okay, you can sell objects in that store, but you can define that it's not going to pay the 100% of the price of the object, the original price of the object. Because if not, because you want to play with this. Okay, imagine that you don't want the character to sell all the objects happily and to do more, that he has to do more effort or things like that. Okay, you can define, for example, an 80%. And if we are going to see the same. To sell, imagine that you have this object, and how it will be this will be the to purchase price. We are going to calculate the selling price. Okay, in this case the object is the same. Okay, we are going to copy this thing to here. Okay, imagine that the percentage that you put is 80%, and the charisma of the character is 5. In this case, you have to not subtract, increase the percentage of your charisma. In this case, will be, and you have to. This formula is this multiplied by this, and the sorry, I don't know what is happening here. Multiplied by this divided between 100. Okay, in this case you will receive 17. Okay, 17. And if you, for example, define that it's going to be 19, you can see that it increased. But maybe you want that your character to be very hard to sell objects. Maybe you can do this. and this is going to earn only 11. Okay, one thing, it's impossible. I have made a rule that imagine that you have a character that have, for example, you focus into to have a lot of charisma. Imagine that you have 20 points of charisma, and you have, and the percentage that you as a writer has defined that this store has, it's, you did, for example, 19. In this case, and imagine that your percentage in the, yes, imagine this example, okay? Your charisma will be 20, okay? Imagine. What is happening here? And also imagine that you, instead 120, you put 110. In this case, what it will happen is that a character can be rich. Why? Because, no, in this case, he will buy this object by 23 and will sell this object by 22. Okay, but imagine that it has 20 of charisma. He will be able to sell this object, to buy this object for 23 and to sell this object by 24. For this reason, he could buy and sell objects and to get a lot of money. Okay, this is only an example. For this reason, I did that the maximum percentage of the selling price will be always 100%. Okay, if you had more than 100, it will be 100, and the same as in this case, the maximum percentage will be. I don't know if I am doing the things. This is the purchase price. Okay, the total percentage now. It's bad. It's 140. I don't know. The formula has changed. Okay, the thing is, the maximum will be 100 also. Okay, it's only this thing. Okay, it's very important to know because I did this because I don't want to allow people to do these kind of things. I don't know how in English is it, especulación, no? to buy and selling objects and to be rich in this. Okay, I make this thing. Okay, I mean, Javier needs to say, but if you do that, the objects appear repeated. I mean, click more than once the products of the shop. I don't know, but maybe if you say that, it can be that like that. I have always put, in this case, 1. I never put more, and I don't remember to trying what happened if I click 2, but I suppose that clicking more, it didn't happen. But I'm going to test, okay, to put 2. Okay, we are going to test this thing, okay? We can save, okay, and we can read this game book and see what happened. Okay, home, your name is Paula, you're a beautiful girl, you are an incredible witch. Okay, but if I load a character that is... We are here. Chapter there, you escape from the town. Load. Okay, perfect. And right now, please set the name of the dog. Flippy. Okay. Save. Continue. I don't know. The door opens. Okay, you are happy. You are happy because you see that there are another wall and a big door and with a soldier in front of them. Okay. To be polite, because we want to enter in this castle. We continue. We are in this castle square, and I go to the shop because the only option that I have is this one. Okay, you go and enter the shop. Okay, what it appears is the shop. And as you can see, you can buy this bronze dagger for 24 coins. But also, well, in this case, this is a bronze short sword, and we cannot compare the price. But if I put here that we can buy this thing, we are going to be able. Okay, we are going to be able to compare the two prices. Okay, I refresh this page, and as you can see, right now you can buy the bronze sword, short sword, the same that you have. The price is 48, but if you click here, you're going to see that the price is less. It's 32. Okay, and it's what I explained you before, that the percentage and things like that. Okay, if you go to see what is the original price of this object, we go to the object list and we have the price 40. In this case will be the object, it costs 40. The percentage that we have defined, I think, is 120. But we can see, we click here, we can see that it's 120 and 80 here. Okay, okay, 120. The charisma of my character right now is 0. Okay, it's 0. Okay, 0. Perfect. And the total will be 120. And the price is b2 multiplied by this one. Okay, in this case will be 48. That you, as you can see here, you click here, you can see that it's 48. But the selling price will be 40. The percentage it's 80. 80. Okay, charisma 0, and the percentage will be 80, and the total will be 32. As you can see here, 32. Okay, it's logic and it has sense. Okay, perfect. And what you say, okay, exactly. Here it appears 2 times. Okay, this is a bug because I don't want to allow this. But in the new version, I will review this specific thing in order not to happen. Okay. Okay, object store. I think I have explained all the things. Get coins, create a store, purchase and sell price, how to affect charisma to price. I have already explained this thing. Okay, perfect. Chest. Quite interesting thing is to create chest. Chest because it's something interesting. Right now, it only exists virtual chest. I call virtual chest because it's not a chest where the character can enter in, for example, in one room to see a chest and leave some weapons or some objects to this chest and come back after. Okay, it's not like that. It's more like you are in one situation where you lost some objects and you don't want that your character lost all the objects. Okay, you want that the character lost these objects in one specific moment, but in 3 pages or in the next chapter, your character is going to receive again the objects that he lost before. Okay, we're going to do an example. Doing that, the character when enter in the castle, in the fortress that is inside the castle, the character cannot enter with weapons, and he's going to lose all the weapons before entering in the castle, and he's going to recover all weapons when he go out of the fortress. Sorry. Okay. Okay. How we do this? Okay, we can go here, list of chests. We enter here, and we can create new chest. Imagine that you can, for example, fortress chest. I think it's correct. Okay. You don't need to define a description right now. Okay. We can quit this, and we can quit this and put this. Okay, we save this and we refresh this page in order to see in the select the chest that we have already created. Okay, we can go here. Okay, we create a new page that is I go to the fortress. I think it's correct, fortress, fortaleza or something like that. Okay. Okay, you see. Okay, sorry. Okay, you enter to the fortress, but before entering the guard, quit all your weapons because it's forbidden to enter with them, for example. It's an example. Okay, right now you can define here that object store, more options. I think it's more options. No, maybe object that you win. No, object that you win. No, it's object that you lost. Indicate object that you recover the virtual chest. But this is the other option. Okay, insert objects in virtual chest. Okay, you can define here that all the objects. I select all the objects. Okay, for example, this buckler. I don't know what this buckler is. It's not weapon. It's like a shield. Okay. Sorry, we're going to click until that. Okay, long sword. Okay, perfect. And you define that it's going to be entered in this chest. Okay, we click here and we save. Okay, in this space, your character will lose all these objects, but is going to be able to recover these objects in another page. Okay, we are going to click here and to say continue. Okay, save. Okay, and we are going to explain a little bit. You enter inside the fortress. You see a big room. You are with 3 doors. Okay, and with 3 doors. One on the right hand, another in the left, and the last in front of you. Okay. What do you do? Imagine. What do you do? Okay. In this case, we're going to define that the character, main room, will be able to do different things. One of them will be to enter in the right door. I enter in the right door. Okay. The other options, but one of the options will be I come back to the castle square. Okay. We're going to click here and I will say I come back to the castle square. I don't know, maybe I'm going to do, we could define in this space that you recover all the objects that you have lost in this space, okay? That you recover all the objects of the virtual chest. But I prefer in this case to create a new middle page because maybe we want that in this node to recover another chest. Okay, it's only an example, it doesn't care, but I'm going to do step by step. Okay, we can define here that you exit the fortress. Okay, you decide to exit the fortress. Okay, and the guards give your weapons. Okay, your weapons back. Okay, perfect. And in this case, how we define that in this space your character is going to recover these things? Okay, it's very easy. Here at the bottom of this option, of this section, you have here indicate the object that you will recover for a virtual chest. You should have created a chest and assigned a series of objects to a chest on a previous page. Okay, we can define it here, fortress chest. Okay, your character is going to recover the things. Okay, perfect. We can save, and we can do that. The next page will be there. Click continue, and you are in the castle square. Okay, perfect. We save, and we can test this thing. We can go here to refresh. We were in the object store, but we cannot exit. Okay, we have to create a link to go back to the castle square. We can click here and to do another link. Go to the page. Okay, come back to castle square. I think it's that. Okay, save. Okay, perfect. Also in this page, okay, we have not tested how to buy. Well, it's very easy to buy objects here. For example, right now our character have 39 coins. Okay, and in this case, the character could be able to buy, for example, this one. No, 48, and I say that it has 39. No, he can, but above maybe above. Yes, above can buy this. this not, you don't have enough money to buy, but this one, and bronze, this? No. And this one, I think, yes, buy. Are you sure you want to buy? Yes. Okay, and right now we have this bow. Okay, also we could be able to sell this iron longsword, and we have this, and this one, the damage is very, very low. I think it's worse to have this. Okay, we refresh, because the link didn't appear, but right now, yes, because we have refresh. And we click here, we come back to the castle. Okay, you go to the fortress, and okay, as you can see, you enter the fortress, but before entering the water, keep all your weapons because it's forbidden to enter with them. Okay, you can see that you have lost only the objects that we had defined before. Okay, in this case, bronze short sword, iron long sword. If you go to the inventory, you can see that right now you don't have this sword, but you have the bow. Okay, also we can click here in order to use the bow when we had a ranged attack. Okay, you can see that you don't have these weapons right now. Okay, we can close and we can continue, and here you have different options, but imagine that you want to come back to the castle square. Okay, if you click here, you will see that you recover all the objects that you have lost before. These objects, so the previous objects, have not disappeared, has been saved to a virtual chest, to this chest. In the future, I want to do that. You can define a chest where, for example, imagine in this case that there is a hotel, for example, inside this castle, and you can go and rent a room forever. And in this room, you have a chest, and you want to save some objects, and for example, to go to do some mission, but you want to have one place to put some objects and to recover these objects. For example, imagine that you want that in one mission you lost all the objects, but if your character have saved the object that he has before, maybe it can be very useful. And for example, to put some money to this virtual chest, it could be very interesting, I think. And I want to do these options in the future, but right now, the things that you are able to do is to create this virtual chest, and this is very useful because in some points you want to do something that make nervous the readers, and one thing could be to lose all the objects. For example, imagine that you want to cheat a little with the, how do you say in English? Well, cheat, not cheat. To suffer a little with your readers, and in this case you could done this. It could be quite interesting that in one moment lost all the objects and have to recover all the objects going to some specific place or things like that. Okay, ¿qué más? Okay, chest. Okay, we have talked about this. Okay, perfect. Different requirement to pass to different pages. Okay, imagine that in this case you have different missions, and you want to do that depending of something you can enter in one place or not. And this requirement you can get these abilities or these things in some missions inside the castle. And you want to when someone enter in one place they can have something can enter in different places. Imagine, for example, in this specific case, that we were inside the fortress. Imagine that you want to do that the door that is in front of you, no, the right door, you need a key. Okay, I'm saying K to enter in this right door. Okay, imagine we are going to write the right door. You need, okay, you try to enter in the right door, but it is closed. Okay, you observe that, okay, you need a key to enter in this room. Okay, enter the right door. Okay, and imagine you want, if you have this object that is a key, okay, you will be able to enter. Okay, we are going to create a link that is use the key to enter the room. No, you open the door with the key. Okay, but you are going to do this page to be able to enter in this page. There is an object requirement, okay, and you are going to click here the key. But right now I think that we don't have any key. Okay, we have to create before this object. Okay, we're going to save, and we're going to create this object. Right now we don't have anything here. Maybe you can new object, but we have to object key. Okay, this is going to be a simple key that don't add anything to you. Okay, we have to select an image. Okay, objects, basic RPG icons, and I don't know if here we have a key. We don't have, but I think we have fantasy icon pack. Maybe here. I don't see a key. Food and drinks, general items and tools. No. Magic things, resource and tools. Oh, an error. I don't know what is that. What's happening? One moment. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to save this thing without any image. We have a problem. Problemas del directo. Sometimes the server gets stuck. So how do you sort out the image? It is a premium function. Javier Iniesta asked me. I'm going to try to recover. Okay, right now. Sometimes the server gets stuck because I think in the same time there are many people using it, and the server have some limitations. And Javier Iniesta, how do you sort out the images? It's a premium function. Gavin, thank you for the key, but I think that we have right now one moment because I am sure that it must be an image. Thank you. One moment. Okay, weapons, objects, magic things. I think things. Yes, look here. There is one. Okay, this one. Okay, we save. Thank you, Jerome. Okay, we save this, and we have this thing. And the question here is, how do you sort out the image? It's a premium function. I think this one, this is premium functions. Okay, if you buy the premium subscription, you are going to be able to use all these weapons that I have bought before, and there is a lot of different objects, images. Sorry, this is, for example, monsters, the spells. There is a big set of images of spells, as you can see here. Avatars, military, sci-fi. There are a lot of medicines. Some medicines, pills, things like that. Professions. In this case, I don't know if this have sense, but professions. And different depending of the. For example, if you are creating a game book that is post-apocalypse, you can see here, for example, avatars about this kind of game books, icons, okay, things like that. Okay, and we can close here. Okay, we have here this image. Okay, and we can go back here and we can refresh this in order to add this object to the list of objects. And we are going to do that. You need here this one. Other options. Okay, object required. Okay, you need the last one. Okay. Okay, perfect. And in this case, also you can select that object that is lost. In this option is if this option is selected, when this link is clicked, the character will lose these objects. In this case, it doesn't have sense because when you use a key to enter in a place to open a door, you remain having the key. So you don't lose the key. You don't need the key to. But imagine that you need some objects to pay someone with this object for something. I don't know. Okay, you can do you could done this with two options. You can define that in the page where you give these objects to someone, you lost this object, but also you can do that entering to the next page, you lost these objects. In this case, we don't want to lose these objects, and for this reason, we are going to check only to select this key, but don't click this. Okay, and the thing is, how we have to get this key before, and for example, we are going to do that in the castle square. You can search something. Imagine that we want to do. We can create a. Well, in this case, we could done that. We could done that in this page we are going to create a page with dice roll, okay, and we can done that we using the perception. You try to find something. Imagine that you do this. You try to find something. I think it's only an example. Maybe it doesn't have so sense, but doesn't matter. Okay, you mark this page to have a dice roll. Okay, we want to create a link in this page in the square that you are going to be able to roll to write a die in order to see if you can find something, for example, in the ground. Okay, imagine that there is the key is on the ground in the castle square, and you have to find this. Okay, we can save. Okay, in this case, we will create another two links. One link, if you search, if you find this key, okay. For example, imagine that the plus the perception plus the roll die, it's 829999. Okay, in this case, the character will go to one page called you find a key. Okay, and in this case, we could say, but you see a key on the ground. Okay, for example. And we will done that you have object that you win in this page. The character will win this key. Okay, we can save. Also, we have to do another thing. We don't want that this character to be able to enter in this page. This is so complicated, I am thinking. Because we don't want that this option to be able if you already have the key, because if not, the character is going to receive a lot of keys if enter a key into this page. Okay, we're going to finish this, okay, and we are going to explain how to correct this thing. Okay, we can go back here, continuing to come back to the square. Okay, also we have to define this. We have to define this page. You don't find anything, okay, and we have to define this ring doll die. Okay, we have to define 0 to I think 7 it was, because this one is 8 to 9999. Okay, in this page you can put you find okay. Okay, we save, and in this case you don't find anything. Okay, we can write this. And it doesn't matter the text. Okay, click here, page with row line, no, anything else, and come back. And we can define that he comes back here. Okay, continue. Okay, we save. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're going to test this. We have one problem right now. As I have explained it before, that is that you can re-enter to this link many times, okay? But we can define something in order to solve this problem, okay? But we're going to test, okay? You continue, okay? You are in the square, and right now you can see that you try to find something. Maybe it will be better. You try, if we enter here, you can you're going to find something. Okay, save, and you try to find something. We enter here, and right now, well, this is the roll die. You don't find anything. Why? Because your character have only 0 in perception. It's very, it's not impossible, but you have to try again. Okay, you try to find something. You roll a 5 with 0. The total is 5. You are not able to enter. You try to find again. We're going to test until to be able to enter. Okay. Oof, it's very difficult. Maybe we can change this in order to be more easy. Sorry, it's not this. It's this one. Roll die. Maybe we can put here 5 to 999, and the other one will be 0 to 4. Okay, perfect. Save. Continuing, and we are going to try again. Okay, perfect. Okay, result of the roll 9. Perfect. You receive this K. Perfect. You continue. Okay, right now you already have this K. In this case, it doesn't have sense to search and to find again the same K. It's not this page. Sorry, it's this one. Inventory, you go here. Others, you are going to see the K. Here it doesn't appear on anything. Okay, we close. And how you can solve this thing? Okay, there is something very easy to do that you can do is to create an intermediate page. If you create a new page here, and maybe you use this text, this one, and you unselect these things, you can create this option here. Okay, perceptions, we can click here, save, and this page we are going to link not with this, and this one with this, okay, and this one with this. We are going to put here, you try to find something in the square. Okay. 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 In this example, and also we are going to do that this thing, this link is not going to be able to enter if you don't have the objects. In this case, forbidden objects, we are going to define that if you have this K, you are not going to be able to enter in this link. We are going to see. If we save, and we refresh this page, you're going to see that it has disappeared, this link. Okay, it has disappeared. Okay, and if because we have in our inventory we have this K, but if we, for example, imagine that if we restart this game book, we are going to see that at the first time we can enter in that place. Okay, we load again the previous game book. Okay. We save, we continue, we are polite, we enter in the castle, okay? And right now we are in the square. Okay, perfect. Right now you can see here the link. You try to find something in the square because you don't have the K. Okay, in this case you don't have the K. And you try to find something, okay? And you find, in this case, the first time we have get. Okay, you find this K and you continue and you are again in the castle square, but this option have disappeared because you have the object, okay? In this case, we are going to use this object to enter in the right room inside the fortress, okay? We go to the fortress. I lost all the objects. Okay, perfect, doesn't matter. We enter in the right door. And here it appears the link that you open the door with the K because you have the K, okay? You have the K. We are going to okay, we are in this page right now. Okay. Well, we enter here and we are in this empty page that it doesn't have anything. Okay. More options. Okay, we are going to see more options. If we double click here, you can see we have talked about object required. Okay. Forbidden object. It happened the same with event required or forbidden event. Okay. I think we have talked about before about this thing. I think yes. Yes, we talk about events because in this chapter, Okay, we create here that if you had this event, you will be able to enter in this node, in this page, or in this page, depending of this. Okay, we have already explained this, the events. Okay, also we can see, one moment, if you double click here, money requirement. The money requirement is a little bit special because when you enter in a page that is required some money, you lost the money that requires this page. For example, imagine that you want that in this store to be able to buy some arrows. Okay, imagine. You can create a link here that it's called I buy 10 arrows. And you can put, for example, for 10 coins. Imagine that you want to create one manner to buy arrows buying coins. In this case, you could put here 10 coins that is required to enter to this page. Okay? And in this page, you are going to do, that the character earn 10 arrows. Okay? More options, and in this page, arrows you earn 10. Perfect. We save. Okay. You exchange UI 10 arrows paying 10 coins. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. And arrows you earn, but you in this link going to here, you have already lost the 10 coins that you need to enter in this place. And we can do that. We go back to the store. Okay. We save. We are going to test this thing. If you, well, in this case, we have to restart from maybe the chapter 2. Okay. Load. Okay, it doesn't matter. To be polite, continue, and I go to the store, and right now it appears at the bottom, I buy 10 arrows for 10 coins. If you click here, you pick up 10 arrows, but you have lost 10 coins. You can, right now we are not able to compare. Right now we have 29, okay? But if I continue shopping and I re-enter here, you buy 10 arrows, you can see that you have 40 arrows and 29 money, okay? If you buy, you're going to see that you have 19 and 50, okay, arrows. Perfect. Continue shopping. More options. Okay, here we have required parameter. Okay, we have talked before, I think. Okay, you can define that to pass to some page. If we have talked about the parameters, something that variables that you are able to define, and it can be increased or decreased in some specific pages. I think we have talked about this option. I'm going to see if we have some parameters. Yes, list of parameters, and right now we have the goodness. Okay, and in this page, I don't know if we create some option to use this thing. There's something to increase. Okay, you give 5 coins to the beggar. Okay, yes, we talked about this before. Okay, yes, depending of your goodness, we define here. Okay, the required parameter. Okay, in the other webinar I talk about this. Okay, perfect. We can close. We can close, and what is the next thing? The next thing that we can talk about is double click here. Requirement experience required. Okay, this is the thing, or the same thing. Okay, you can done that the character must have some experience in order to enter in one page. It doesn't have. It's very similar than this one and other ones. Okay, it's not complicated. Other options. Okay, you can done that. For example, if you are a minimum experience required to enter in one page. Okay, you can define with this thing with the intelligence, with the perception, and with the charisma. Is the same. If you click here, in the case the character is not allowed to access this link, tick this box, and he will able to see if anyway instead of of a link, it will not be clear text. The thing is, imagine that you want to if you have, for example, 2 of charisma, you are able to buy arrows more cheap. Okay, imagine. We can create this thing. Well, right now we are not going to do this in this place. We are going to do another link that is going to be called, for example, you buy 10 arrows for 5 coins. Imagine. You can define that you need 2 of charisma to do this. Okay? And if you want, in this case the character knows how to tick this box, he will be able to see it anyway. Okay. If we click here, the character is going to see that he cannot enter in this page because he don't have this minimum charisma. We can put here, you need 2 points in charisma. Okay, charisma. Okay, perfect. And if you save, also here you will put that you need also 5 coins. Okay, we can save, and here we have to define that. Okay, you get 10 arrows. We have to define that you get 10 arrows and also more options. Arrows you earn 10. Okay, perfect. We save. Okay, and we can define that we can go back. Oh, one moment. What happened here? Go to the page. Continue. Go back to continue. Okay. Save. Okay, if we refresh this one, we can see that the button that it appears these options. You buy 10 arrows for 5 coins. You need 2 points in charisma. You cannot perform this action. Okay, it appears because we don't have 2 points of charisma, and also we have clicked in that checkbox in order to, because we want to say to the reader that if he would have more charisma, he will be able to buy in more cheaper way arrows. Okay, for this reason it's quite interesting. Okay, ¿qué más cosas? Link. Okay, we have talked many times. Well, no, in this one, okay, in this case, these 2 options I didn't want to talk about in this moment. Okay, we're going to talk about these options in other tutorial because it is related to the battles. Okay, and it's quite interesting. These 2 options are quite interesting for to do more emotion the story, the battles. Okay, link to roll dice. We have talked many times about this thing. Page with password. We have already talked about this thing. And necessary profession and gender. Okay, in this case, you also can define that one link it's only available only if the character is man or woman, and also depending of the profession of the character. Okay, and but it's very easy to do an example, and I think it's not necessary to explain this one. Okay, and I think that I can see that you are quite interesting conversation in the chat. Okay, Gavin, do you live in it? It's okay. Okay, you explained more or less the same number of things in Spanish as in English. Yes, Javier, it's because I wanted to do this tutorial in English because people, English speakers, didn't want able to be able to understand how it runs. Okay, perfect. Sorry for this. Okay, more things. I want to finish this webinar. Learned something totally new. Thank you, Gavin. I'm happy for this. I want to explain something that Gavin has said me that he wanted to do a tutorial, and it's quite interesting to explain in order to be able to know how it runs. That it's the battles. Okay, the battles are a little bit difficult to maybe to understand at the beginning. Okay. Here I think I have another Google Sheet document that is explicación sistema de combate. Okay, perfect. I'm going to explain here this thing, okay, because I think it's quite interesting to know for everybody. Because maybe it's difficult to understand how the battles works if you don't know this thing. Okay, this is a Google Sheet that I have created to explain that thing. Okay, I'm going to try to go step by step. Okay, the thing is, every character have some stats. The character stats, the base character stats. Okay, the strength, the agility, the constitution, the intelligence, the wisdom, the charisma. Okay, the thing is, the strength affects to the combat stats. Well, most of these stats affects to the combat stats. Okay, and in the strength affects to attack and to the damage. You can know what is the base attack that have the character, dividing the strength that the character has between 2. If you divide 4 between 2, you have 2. Okay, if you will have 6, it will be 3 in attack, and in damage 3 to 3. I put 2 3s because this is the minimum damage and this is the maximum damage. Okay. Okay, the defense is the combat stat that someone has that allows you to don't be hit by the weapon of the enemy. Okay, when you attack some monster or when a monster attacks to you, you have to first of all he has to roll a die, and you also have to roll a die, and you compare all the total attack that your enemy or you have done with the defense of the other. And if your attack is more than the defense of the other, you hurt this guy. But you have to roll another die in order to know what is the damage that you produce to the other. But the thing is, you have a minimum damage that you can do and a maximum damage that you can do, and it depends of this property. The minimum in this case is 3 to 3. Also, you have to add the damage that the sword or the weapons have. Okay, this damage can be increased, for example, by a sword. Okay, it can be increased. In this case, for example, we have, for example, in the equipment of the character. Imagine that the equipment of the character is, for example, a sword. Okay, and and this sword have 3 in attack and 1 to 3 in damage. The total damage will be 3 plus 1 to 3 plus 3. In this case, 4 to 6. Okay, 4 to 6. Okay, but first of all, you have to before knowing what damage you can produce to the other enemy, also you have to plus the attack. Okay, we're going to do step by step. Okay, this is the attack, the damage, and the defense. We can see here. The defense is the agility divided between 2. As you can see, if I change this 4 for 3, it will be 1.5. In this case, will be 1. Okay, because I floor these numbers to the 1 in this case. Okay, if we have instead of 2 in agility, your defense will be 1. But you have to add the equipment. Okay, in this case, imagine that you have a shield, a helmet, and armor. And in the case of the shield, it increases your defense in 1, and the helmet in another 1. The total defense that you will have is 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. Okay, the total will be 3. As you can see, I think in 1.222, well, the total will be 3. Doesn't matter. The thing is, okay, the agility, the constitution. The constitution means the total points of life that the character can have. And you can multiply the 6 of the constitution by 5, and you get the maximum points of life that the character have. If you increase this 6 to 7, you're going to have 35. Okay. The intelligence also is used to calculate the maximum mana. Mana is the magic power that a wizard can do. For example, imagine that you create that the intelligence is 3 multiplied by the intelligence is the mana is 3 multiplied by 5. Okay, in this case, 15. If you put instead of 3 a 4, it's 20. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're going. Imagine that you attack an orc. Okay, an orc that have 1 in attack, 3 to 5 in damage, 2 in defense, 16 points of life, and absorption 1. What is absorption? Okay, imagine that you attack to one orc and you hit him. It means your attack it's more than the defense of the orc. You have to calculate right now the damage that you produce in the orc. Okay, when you roll the die, the die that you roll when you have to calculate the damage is not 1 to 10. It's, for example, if your minimum damage is 5 and your maximum is 8, you roll a die that have 4 faces or 5 faces. One face with 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, it's a special die where you can give one of these 5 numbers. Okay, if your damage that you are able to produce is between 4 and 8. But to this number that you get, you have to subtract, to quit the absorption that the enemy has. In this case, the orc has 1 in absorption. The absorption is more like, imagine that I have done this example to Gabby when I explained this thing. But imagine that you attack to a troll. A troll is a big creature that is very slow enemy because he's very big and it's very easy to be able to hurt this guy because he's very slow, but also have a very big skin. And if you are a weak person, you are not able to enter your sword to this big skin, and it's difficult to damage this guy. It's very easy to hit the troll, but it's difficult to damage. It will be, in this case, for example, the troll will have, for example, 5 in absorption, okay, and maybe the defense will be 0 or -4, okay. You are going to be able to hurt this troll in a very easy way, but it's difficult to damage in a very high way, okay? It's only an example. We are going to come back with this. But imagine, for example, that you have that attack to you some animal that is very quick and very thin. Maybe the absorption of this animal will be 0, but the defense of this animal will be 5, okay? It's quite interesting to play with these 2 parameters. Okay, you can play with these 2 parameters in order to allow the readers to use the strategy in order to attack the enemies. Okay, for example, imagine that you are a wizard and you can don a spell that decreases the absorption of an enemy. It can be very intelligent to decrease the absorption of a troll in order to be able to hit this enemy. Okay, it is only an example, but you can play with these 2 characteristics. For example, you can play with the defense items, with the defense objects that your character has. Okay, for example, you can in this case, for example, I have put that the armor increase in 1 your absorption. Why? Because if you have an armor, it's difficult to hurt you. So you can hit someone can hit you, but it's difficult to damage yourself. Okay, and for this reason, I increase this absorption if you have an armor. Also, you could done, for example, that imagine that you have a very strong armor, but also it's very heavy armor. You can put the defense if you carry this armor. It's for example, -3, and it could be, and maybe the absorption is 3. If you use this armor, you are going to be more slow and it's going to be more easy to hit you. But at the same time, if someone hits you, you are going to have some absorption. And also in the battles, imagine that you fight. Imagine, for example, that you fight against some enemies that the damage that can done, it's not so high. And imagine that your character has 2 armors. One armor that is like that decrease your defense, but increase your absorption. But the enemies against you, where you are fighting, for example, done this damage, and they attack in a very strong way. It's impossible to stop these enemies, but they produce a very slow damage. It's like, imagine that attack to you I don't know, something enemy that is very little. I have, for example, some flyer enemies that they don't produce some damage, but they have a lot of big attack because they fly very quick way, in a very quick way. You can, if the character has two armors, and one armor has these stats, and another one has, for example, 2 in defense and 1 in absorption, it could be more intelligent to put the other one. Okay, to put this. I don't know if I am explaining you, if you're understanding what I am saying, but you can play with these stats. Okay, the thing is, the combats runs in the following way. I have half explained it right now. Okay, but usually there is 2 turns. Your turn as the character to attack the enemies, and the turn of the enemies. Depending of what, if you have the initiative in attacking to your enemies, you are going to the first to attack. This is quite interesting. You as a writer can define this in the pages. Okay, in the combat pages you can define if the initiative is for you or for the enemies. It means if the first to attack is the enemies or you. Okay, and in this case, imagine that this is your character. The character will have a base. This is the total character attack. Okay, the character attack. The character have the base. In this case, is 3 because it's 6 divided by 2, okay, is 3. Also, you have to add the weapons attack. In this case, you have a sword that have 3 in attack. Okay, this 3, and you put these 3 here. Also, the attitude. If you have seen the battles, how it runs, you can see that when you fight against an enemy, you can check. You have some buttons that is -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. This is the attitude that the character has. If you put 2, this is an aggressive attitude. It means that you will have 2 in attack, but -2 in defense. Okay, and in the other hand, if you have a defense attitude, you're going to have -2 in attack, but +2 in defense. Okay. This also is quite interesting as a reader to play with these things, because imagine that you fight against 5 enemies. It's more worth to have a defensive attitude because there are 5 people that is going to attack you, and you are going to use the defense property 5 times, but the attack property you are going to use 1 time to attack one of them. You're not going to be able to attack the 5 people at the same time. You're going to be able to attack only one turn to attack. But the 5 enemies are going to attack to you 5 times. Okay, and for this reason, it's better to have a defensive attitude in this case. Okay, you can play with attitude, and also you have to roll a die. Imagine that you roll 5, for example. The total will be 3 plus 3 plus 5, 11. And the enemy have the base property defense is 5. In this case, you can see the defense is 5. And also, he roll a die, and in this case, imagine that he get a 4. The total will be 9, and in this case, this character will produce some damage in this enemy. Okay, as you can see here, the damage that can produce your character is 3 to 3 plus 1 to 3. In this case, 4 to 6. It will be 4 to 6. The character will roll another die, a virtual roll die, and it can take between 4 and 6. In this case, imagine it could be 4, it could be 5 or 6. Doesn't matter. Imagine that he get a 6. This is the damage that will produce in the enemy. But you have to subtract the absorption that has this orc. In this case, we put 0, but imagine that we put 1. Okay, if we put 1, 6 minus 1 is 5. This will be the total damage that you will produce in the enemy. Okay, in this case, you will have to subtract 16 minus 5. It will be 11 points of life. Okay. Also, the enemy are going to immediately to attack you. How do you say? A no ser que... but, bueno, a no ser que nevertheless, I don't know. But if your enemy have penalty turns, that you as a writer can define that your enemy has some penalty turns in one page, for example. He won't be able to attack to you, but imagine that he can attack you. Okay, he also have an attack. In this case, it's 10 because we have changed this, but maybe we are going to put, for example, 4 in attack. And if he roll a die and get an 8, the total will be 11, 12. Okay. And you also have a defense that is the base is 1. The the weapons in this case with this armor will be -1. And if you roll a die and take a 1, the total will be 1. And for this reason, the attack will be higher than the defense. And for this reason, the enemy will be able to damage you. The enemy produces a damage that is 2 to 3. In this case, it cannot be a 4. It will be a 2 or 3. Okay, imagine that he gets a 3. If he subtract your absorption, that in this case is 4, this enemy will produce -1 of damage. It means it will produce 0 damage. Indeed, in this case, this orc it will be unable to damage you never. Okay, in this specific case. Okay, unless. Okay, thank you, Javier Iniesta. The word a no ser que will be unless. Yes, I didn't remember in that moment. Okay, I think that I explained it more or less how it runs. And also, I'm going to explain also how it runs the range attacks, okay? The range attacks, it runs in a little different way that hand-to-hand attacks, okay? Imagine that, to be able to attack in a range mode, first of all, the enemies cannot attack in a range mode. The enemies right now, I have not done anything to allow enemies to attack in a range mode, okay? In the future, maybe I'm going to change this thing, but right now it's impossible. It means that if your character have first a bow, 2 arrows, and 3, the character is in a pace that the writer has defined it, that the enemies by default are in a range distance, if it happens these 3 conditions, the character is going to be able first to attack in some turns to the enemies without being attacked first. Okay, because the enemies are coming to you, and you have some turns until the enemies are going to be able to attack you in hand-to-hand. Okay? You can define, if you enter in one page, for example, in a battle page, in this case, you can define in the combat modification, in the combat modification, you can define if the enemies have the initiative. It means if the enemies are the first that attack to you, and also if there is range attacks in this page. Okay. In this case, you can define that you allow, for example, that the enemy starts in a 5 turns distance. Okay. Also, this range, this distance, it depends also of the range of the bow, because there are bows that only allows you to attack in 2 turns of distance because are small bows, but also you can have a big bows, okay, a very large bows that allows you to attack in a long distance, okay? And for this reason, if you define a 5 here, but your character, in this case, for example, the long distance weapon, right now we cannot see, but maybe if we buy someone, if we click here, look, in here appear only damage, but also it must have, we're going to try to buy, we don't have enough money. Okay, the thing is, this bow have some range that we cannot see here. But if we enter here and up to the object list, you're going to see that you can define a range. Okay, in this case, this long distance weapon, this pine short bow, it doesn't have, it only have 1 turn of range attack. Okay, if your character has this bow and and you define 5 here of range attacks, the character is going to be able only to attack in 1 turn with these range attacks. Okay, only 1, because the bow don't allow you to attack to so long distance. Okay, it has sense. Okay, how it runs the range attacks. Okay, the range attacks don't take. Sorry, you cannot add these stats to the range attacks. To the range attacks. Imagine that you have a bow, okay, and you are able to attack in one turn with this range attack. In this case, the attack is not going to be 3 plus 3. It's going to be 3. Why? Because when I created this system, I thought that the range attacks depends more with the bow, and maybe with some ability that it's different than the agility and the strength. Okay, here it doesn't have sense. If you have more strength, it is not related with the ability to point to the enemy in the correct way. And for this reason, I make that this thing it's only for it doesn't take part in this case these stats. Okay. For this reason, you are going to have 3 in attack only, and 1, 2, 3 in damage. That's all. Okay. But there are some professions that allows you to increase the attack and to add some of these stats to the attack. If you are an explorer, when you create a profession, you can see an option that appears. If you go to list the professions and you edit this profession, you are going to see that it appears this range button, this range checkbox. This range checkbox, if you click here, this profession is going to have a plus in range attacks. I have created this option to do some bonus to the explorers. Okay, the people that are used to use this kind of weapons, the bows and things like that. And the thing is that they are going to have a plus in the attack. Okay, the plus is the ranger, the people that have this extra stat. You are going to have more attack. That is 6 plus 2 divided between divided between 2. In this case, will be 6 plus 2 is 8 divided by 2 is 4. The total attack that will have this character, if will be a ranger or have this special ability for this profession, will be, instead of 3, will be 6 plus 2 divided 8 divided by 2, 4. Okay, will be 7. The total attack that will have is 7. The damage, it doesn't change. Okay, with anything. Okay, it only depends by the bow. I think that this is not perfect, and I want to change this thing. Maybe I could create something to add. Maybe I have in mind to create abilities. Okay, abilities that you are going to use. It will be very similar like the parameters. Okay, but the ability, for example, to swim, the ability to read, the ability we could create ability to climb trees, for example. We could create the ability to read special things, or to learn languages, or I don't know. And we could done that some abilities that you can define ability that increase the range attack or things like that. But right now I have not created. Okay, and the things is like I have explained before. Okay, I think that's all. We have been here for 1 hour and a half and 30 minutes. Okay, do you have any questions? Yes, yes. Javier Iniesta say the idea of the skills is very good. Yes, indeed, indeed. When I created the database of this project, I create the table skills. I had in mind to create this thing, but when I started to do a lot of different things, and I think not many people told me about that thing. And also, I think that I didn't do this because the parameters are at the end the same. The parameters are the same. If you if you think a little bit, for example, what I have explained before, that is, for example, to create the parameter goodness, you could create a parameter, the ability to climb trees, for example, with a different, with one, with one difference. When I wanted to create the skills, what I want is that when you increase your level, to be able to add more points to that skills. Is that what I had in mind at the beginning? But it was, I think, there was a lot of things to do, and finally I didn't do this. But it is something that I have in mind. So, for example, imagine that you when you pass the level, you can add 2 points in, for example, in one of your stats, these stats, but also to be able to create a different category that are skills, and you also are available to add 2 points to that skills. It could be very interesting. It could be, and I think there are a lot of RPG games that allows that thing. I thought that fit is when someone makes a song with another person. Skill fits, very good idea. Fits, it's when someone makes a song with another person. Acrobatics. I have a question. Okay, Javier, say me. You don't write the question, Javier. Say me. I am waiting. In the forum are mixed Spanish and non-Spanish talkers, because I think one people that speak in the forum are mixed Spanish. Javier needs to say, in the forum are mixed Spanish and non-Spanish talkers, because I think only people that speak in Spanish. Yes, Javier, the thing is, I want to create a new forum only for English speakers, okay? I have this thing in mind. But right now, I think that there are not many people that speak in English. Okay, but I am planning to do this thing, and it can be very useful for English speakers to have some place to talk about these things. Okay, I have in mind. Right now, I go step by step. Okay, and also, yes, and also I think that I am going to do these webinars in English because I think right now Spanish speakers have many stuff to learn how to create game books, because I have created webinars, I have created videos, I have explained a lot of things. They have forums to ask for everything, but the case of the English speakers, I think that right now the first thing is to create this content. Okay. Also, Gavin is helping me with videos, creating videos, and it's going to be a very, very helpful to create these videos for people, that English speakers that need these resources to create game books. But at the end, I want to do this. I want to do a forum for English speakers. But step by step. This week it has been very, very stressful for work and things, and I go step by step. I have a lot of things to do at the same time. I'm not able to, how do you say, alcanzar todo, no? Yes. to do all the things at the same time. But I want to do. It's a good idea, and I am planning to do this. Thank you, Javier. Anything else? I think not. To reach, thank you. To reach, thank you very much. Okay. Bueno, see you. I hope train hard, at least. Okay. I hope this has been useful. These tutorials, okay, and I'm going to continue the next week. I have shown you this list. I want to talk about all these all these things. I have created this big list, and it's what I want to explain. There are a lot of points, okay, and I'm going to talk about all that things, and I hope it's going to be useful for you and for all the people that is going to watch this this video in the future. Okay, have a good week, and see you next week. Bye.